Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. For today's video, I will be sharing with you 6 of my most favorite fragrances that I use in winter time. So obviously in Australia, we're in autumn, we're going into winter. So I'm one of those people that tend to use different fragrances depending on the season, because I am just drawn towards different scent in depending on what temperature. I do notice that in summer I tend to go for like a much more green, fresh, sort of floral, fruity scent, and then in winter I tend to go for a more warmer, sweet, sort of vanilla, woody scent. I don't know why, but I guess yeah, everyone's a bit different, but that's what I tend to go for. I'm not really good at describing scent in particular, so I've got a bit of a cheat sheet on my left side here with each notes in each of the different fragrances. As I'm doing the research for the notes, I do notice that I've got like ingredients that are in each of the fragrances that I tend to go for in wintertime are quite similar. So it's like a silver line. My silver lining seems to be bergamot, vetiver, amber, and musk. That's the 4 that seems to be in all of the fragrances that I'm about to show you. So without further ado, I'm gonna start. So I'm gonna start here. So this is the Diptyque Eau d'Oeil Eau de Toilette. So I decided to purchase the Eau de Toilette instead of Eau de Parfum because the Eau de Parfum is, I believe it's like twice the price of the Eau de Toilette. So I I just thought, oh, you know what, I'm gonna be happy with Eau de Toilette instead. So it took me, I think from the first time I try this scent, it took me about like almost a month and a half of like really thinking about whether I want to get it or not, just because I know like I've got like quite a few fragrances in my collection already, but with the Eau d'Oeil, I actually do not have anything that is similar to this at all. So when at the time when I purchased this, so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna commit to it, I'm gonna get it. So a month and a half after really thinking about it, I decided to get this one. So with the Eau d'Oeil, it is basically a fragrance that gives ode to vanilla. It is definitely inspired by the ancient spice route, and as you can see from even from the packaging, like from the label, you can see there's this building that kind of reminds me of like a mosque, and like the scene that the like label depicts is kind of like a more of a like desert, you know. So it's very much like a Middle Eastern, which is what the spice route, which is what inspires the fragrance. So the first note that you will get from this fragrance is like the white vanilla and the frankincense, and then it also has a note of like cardamom, juniper berry, bergamot, pink pepper, black tea, and it has like a base of musk and ambergris. So with these one, I think I really am just really attracted to this scent because the scent is very familiar to me. I am, you know, I grew up as a Catholic. We go to church, and every time at church they would always burn frankincense. So it's a scent that's very familiar to me, and that's why I think I was very much drawn to this fragrance. It's definitely like a sweet, warmer fragrance, and I definitely tend to use this in the winter time because in summer I feel like in summer it's quite, the sweetness can be overpowering, but in winter it's very, very like soft and quite beautiful. So yeah, so this is the first one. So it's the Diptyque Eau d'Oeil Eau de Toilette. The next 2 fragrance that I got in front of me is from Byredo, and with Byredo, a lot of their fragrances are eau de parfum, so they will last for a, you know, for a longer time. Having said that though, I do have to mention that the eau d'oil, even though it's an eau de toilette, they do last all day. I tend to spray on like my wrist and also the back of my neck, but they do last for a long time. Even at the end, sometimes like if I accidentally spray on my clothes, the next day I would definitely still smell the fragrance on the clothes as well. So they do last. But moving on to the two from Byredo, the first one that I've got is the Bol d'Afrique. So as the name suggested, it is inspired by the beauty and the fantasy and celebrating the African culture. So that's what the creator wanted to reflect when they created this fragrance. It's actually a really good marriage between the African woods with the like a more sophisticated, refined French floral essence. So with the Bol d'Afrique, what attracts me to it is definitely the more wood spice scent that they have, but it also has a beautiful violet, so like a more that powdery violet scent as well, and it has bergamot, and it also has the Moroccan cedar wood in there as well. So to me, this is like it's a lot sweeter, and the first thing that you smell from this is definitely the I would say the bergamot and then the violet, and then after a while you start to have that the more cedar wood, the more sort of warmer cedar wood, and the fresh of the vetiver as well. So I really love to use this in the winter month. I do sometimes use this in summer month for a special occasion, but this is definitely my winter fragrance because of that sweetness as well. The next one from Byredo as well is the Black Saffron. Now I know with Byredo, their most popular fragrance is actually Gypsy Water, but I don't have Gypsy Water because I feel like one, everybody has it, and two, the scent is not as attractive to me as compared to these two. I think the Bol d'Afrique or the Black Saffron are very unique compared to, let's say, Gypsy Water. With the Black Saffron, it has the obviously the saffron, juniper berry, it has black violet, and woods and vetiver again, which is like a similar notes to the Bol d'Afrique. But what I think makes the Black Saffron very unique is the leather accord in it. So the Black Saffron is actually inspired by the creator's childhood trips to India, so it's very much a more oriental fragrance compared to the Bol d'Afrique. It has the smell, the taste, and the color of India. But I feel with the Black Saffron, the first whiff that you get from the fragrance is quite similar to Bol d'Afrique, and then when you start to get the leather accord on the heart note, it actually makes this fragrance a lot more, I feel, a lot more elegant, a lot more sophisticated compared to Bol d'Afrique. Bol d'Afrique is a lot more richer, I think, in terms of like a richer fragrance, but this one is a lot more like sophisticated because of the leather accord, I think, in my opinion anyway. So I do like to use this more, the Black Saffron for winter. I tend to use this more if I'm going out at nighttime. I don't know why. So I tend to go for Bol d'Afrique during the day, and then I will spray the Black Saffron if I'm going out for nighttime. I'm not sure why, but you know, sometimes you tend to pick different fragrance for different outings. I don't know, it could be just me, but yeah, definitely let me know if I'm the only one that does that. But so those are the two that I picked for my winter fragrance from Byredo. So the next one that I've got, so the next three that I've got is actually all Cologne. So compared to eau de toilette or eau de parfum, Cologne does tend to stay on your skin less in terms of length compared to like eau de toilette or eau de parfum, which tends to last a bit longer. But I do still like some colognes, especially when they're like unique. They have a unique scent. It's something that I don't have in my perfume collection. I don't mind spending a bit of money on cologne. So the two that I'm gonna start with is actually from Jo Malone. So the first one is the Earl Grey and Cucumber. Now I know that obviously, as the name suggested, the Earl Grey and Cucumber cologne is inspired by the British afternoon tea, which tend to happen in summer. I get that. But with this one, I think because it has the Earl Grey, the ingredients that represent the Earl Grey is definitely the bergamot, and because of bergamot, I like a lot of my other fragrances that I tend to use in winter month. Bergamot is the scent that I tend to go for in winter, so that's why I tend to use this more in the winter month compared to summer. It does have a very fresh, sort of like a more cool cucumber scent, which is like tend to be more like a summer freshness. But I think because the base of this fragrance is like beeswax, which is it gives it a bit more like a deeper sweet fragrance, so that's why I tend to go for this more in winter time. The next cologne that I've got is English Oak and Hazelnut. So with English Oak and Hazelnut, it is definitely a more earthy, woody scent that pays homage to the enchanted forest of Britain. So it has a top note of green hazelnut, which is like a very fresh, nutty fragrance, but it also has a cedar wood and roasted oak as a heart and base note, which is both are very dry, warm, woody scent. So this is definitely a very unique wood, like a really heavily woody scent that I don't have in any of my fragrance collection. So that's why this drawn me towards it when I sort of look at Jo Malone counter, which has like thousands of different scents. This is the one that draws me to it, because when I catch a whiff of it, it reminds me of like a really nice and warm cup of hazelnut drinks. I don't know why, like kind of like hazelnut like syrup in like a coffee. That's what it smells like to me. So so I really do enjoy this. With Jo Malone, what I really like, even though they don't last as long, but I tend to mix and match the scent, so I will layer them, because I think because it layers really well with like each other, it gives different scent as well. So especially with the English Oak and Hazelnut, every time I use this, people always ask me what I'm using, so I think this one's quite a unique scent. And yeah, it's really good. I really like these two for winter. So last but not least, this cologne has a very special place in my heart because I cannot get it in Australia. And I got it when I traveled to Seoul in South Korea. So it is a fragrance by Grand Han. So the brand is called Grand Han. And this one is called Lily Owen. That's the name of the fragrance. So with Grand Han, it is it's like a small, unique fragrance perfumery place that I discovered when I was traveling in Seoul by recommendation while I was watching one of the YouTuber who lives in Korea. So I discovered this brand through her vlog. So when I went to Seoul 2 years ago, I make sure that I make time to visit this place. So it's actually very easy to find. The shop is located in like an area in Seoul called Bukchon Hanok Village, which is quite a popular tourist attraction. The shop is very small, sort of like, it's kind of like a little bit of hole in the wall type of shop, but it's a very small shop that kind of like has like a traditional interior of like a traditional Korean housing, which is called hanok, but the inside it has like all different like fragrances, candles. They've got room diffuser. They've got also a like perfume sachet that you can hang in like your wardrobes and stuff. So they do create all this locally in Seoul. So I think they might ship online. If they do, I would leave a link to their website in the description box for sure, because they do have really beautiful fragrances as well. So with the Lily Owen, it is inspired by the main character of the movie The Secret Life of Bees, hence Lily Owen. So it's when the creator, which is the owner, the creator, the perfumer in Grand Han is actually a lady, and when she created this fragrance, she has like a women in their 20s and 30s in mind, and she wanted to create this fragrance to like, it can be like kind of like an encouragement for these women to like, you know, be honest with themselves and, you know, make sure you feel free to express your femininity. So I think that's what inspired the creation of this fragrance. So the top note of Lily Owen is grapefruit, rosemary, and wild strawberry. So there's a lot of sort of very fresh citrus fruity scent. And the heart of it is water lily and lotus, which actually gives this fragrance a very clean fresh scent. And then it has a base of ambergris and musk, which actually helps to give the fragrance that sort of depth as well. And because of the white woody and the amber scent, it's like a lot more deeper than just like a fruity scent. So which is why I think when I went to Seoul, it was actually a summer month. So that's why I think I was so attracted to the grapefruit and the wild strawberry first note that you smell. And then when I use it throughout the day, I do notice that it became a lot more deeper because of the amber and the musk, and I've sort of stopped using it in the summer, and I just tend to use it in winter time. It actually lasts for quite a while because I've used this. So I went to Korea, like to Seoul 2 years ago, and I use this. I don't use it every day, but I use it quite often, but I literally like barely like use it up at all. And I just use 1 or 2 spritz, and that's all I need. It has like throughout the day I would just have like a very sort of like a little bit of whiff of the scent, which is actually really lovely. Every time I smell this perfume, it just reminds me of my trip and my time in Seoul, which is very memorable, and I cannot wait to go back. I was planning to go back this year, but you know, coronavirus. So like everyone else, I am stuck in wherever I am now, which is Melbourne, so which is not a bad place to be stuck in. So but I really do miss my travels in Seoul, and I cannot wait to be able to travel there, because one, I need to stock up on the sachet fragrance that they have, and definitely this time when I go, I would definitely get the diffuser as well, the room diffuser, because they are like really beautifully packaged as well. So so these are everything that I have that I normally use in the winter month. As you can see, I have like the common thread of bergamot, amber, musk, and vetiver, and I noticed that some of them actually has violet as the main floral tone in it as well. So yeah, so let me know, guys, if any of you have the same fragrance as me, or you have used any of this, or what kind of scent do you normally get drawn towards when it comes to winter time. Do let me know your favorite fragrances. Leave a comment down below. Let's start a conversation, because I'm very much interested in like fragrances of any kind. So if you have any recommendation, let me know. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you, wherever you guys are staying safe and stay healthy. Hopefully we can go back to normal ASAP. I'm very much enjoying the time off, but I'm very much ready to go back to work as well. So what about you guys? So thank you so much for watching once again. I will see you guys on the next video. Bye.